Welcome to another video by LDS Nerds, the Obscure Gospel History series. In this video, we explore the colony established in San Bernardino, California. The church had considered settlements in California from the days of the Mormon Battalion's march. By 1849, church leaders saw a possible advantage in having colonies in Southern California due to its proximity to the sea and therefore immigration ports. Elder Parley P. Pratt led a party in late 1849 to explore and suggest sites for settlements there that would be part of what the church planned as the Mormon Corridor, a series of colonies from Salt Lake to San Diego. Apostles Amasa M. Lyman and Charles C. Rich were tasked with taking charge of the effort to establish a colony in California. Saints from various areas traversed the harsh desert terrain, enduring one of the hardest wagon trips ever attempted. The church then needed to purchase land, and initially thought they would buy Chino Ranch, owned by Colonel Isaac Williams, which he had offered to the church as early as 1847. But the colonel changed his mind at the last moment. The church instead raised funds and purchased San Bernardino Rancho, also known as Rancho del San Bernardino, from early settlers, the Lugo family. While waiting for this sale to be finalized, the Saints settled and established the first stake in California in July 1851 nearby. They soon established a fort on the newly purchased land and started to build out the living areas, as well as a logging road and mill. Later, colony member Jefferson Hunt was elected to the state legislature. He helped form San Bernardino County from Los Angeles and San Diego counties, starting in April of 1853. San Bernardino County is still the largest county in the United States. The colony was fairly diverse, including European immigrants, African Americans, Jewish merchants, and Polynesian and Australian converts. The colony prospered at first, but this was to be relatively short-lived. Some of the saints in the colony, like others in Utah, practiced plural marriage, which was outlawed in the state, putting them at odds with their neighbors. Agriculture proved harder to sell as the boom caused by the gold rush settled down, and the saints found shortly after purchasing their land they had much less property than they originally thought they had purchased. At times, the saints were at odds with church leadership and formed factions regarding politics and also disputed land rights amongst themselves and their neighbors. Some of the original members of the colony later apostatized. As elders Lyman and Rich were called on a mission to Europe by 1857, tensions were running high in the area. Back in Utah, things were even worse as President Buchanan sent troops into Utah as the start of what would become known as the Utah War. By the fall, Brigham Young called all missionaries and settlers outside the area to come back and defend the church and its saints. The rancho was sold by February of 1858, and at least two-thirds of the colony's residents quickly sold or abandoned their homes and made the trek back to Utah. This group included a 19-year-old future prophet, Joseph F. Smith, newly returned from a mission to Hawaii. During the trip, the young elder had the now famous confrontation with a drunken man who threatened the saints and asked if he was Mormon, to which he replied, "Yes, sirree, dyed in the wool, true blue, through and through." To which the man then responded, "Well, you are the pleasantest man I ever met. Shake. I am glad to see a fellow stand for his convictions." The Utah War ended peacefully by the summer of 1858. Of the saints who either stayed behind or chose to go back to California, most of them left the church, and by 1864, only a few saints were still members of the church in the area. Efforts were made throughout the 1870s to reestablish the church in the California area. The San Bernardino colony was a short-lived attempt to establish a foothold for the church along a critical path from the sea to the headquarters of the church. By its peak in 1856, the colony had about 3,000 residents, making it the largest Latter-day Saint community outside Salt Lake City at the time. Despite the short-lived nature of the colony, it had a lasting impact on California for years to come. That's all for this video. Let us know in the comments what topics you would like to see covered by the Obscure Gospel History series, and please like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching another LDS Nerds creation. Visit our store for geeky gospel-themed merchandise.